In the dense woods of Oregon, 12-year-old Caleb and his father built a treehouse. It was meant to be a place of joy and adventure, nestled high in the branches of a century-old oak. But from the moment Caleb began spending his afternoons there, he felt something unusual. There was an unsettling quietness, as if the forest around the treehouse was holding its breath. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, Caleb heard faint whispers. At first, he dismissed it as the rustling of leaves. But the whispers grew clearer, murmuring his name, Caleb. Caleb. Fear gripped him, but curiosity overpowered his hesitation. He climbed to the treehouse, flashlight in hand, determined to find the source. The whispers stopped the moment he stepped inside. Everything appeared normal, but Caleb noticed faint carvings on the wooden walls. When he leaned in, he saw the words etched in shaky handwriting, "Don't leave me." Terrified, Caleb bolted back to the house, but his parents dismissed his story as imagination. Desperate to prove he wasn't lying, Caleb placed a tape recorder in the treehouse the next day. That night, he played the recording and froze as the whispers filled the room. A voice, faint but distinct, whispered, "Please, set me free." The family discovered that the treehouse was built on land tied to a tragic past. Decades earlier, a child had vanished, and the case remained unsolved. Caleb's parents decided to tear down the treehouse to sever the connection. As they dismantled it, Caleb heard the whispers one last time, soft and sorrowful, "Thank you." To this day, Caleb avoids that part of the woods, haunted by the voice of the unseen presence. In a small town in Virginia, a decrepit treehouse stood forgotten behind an old farmhouse. Locals avoided it, claiming it was cursed after the mysterious disappearance of its owner, Ricky. Teenagers, however, loved to dare each other to climb it, often sharing eerie tales of their experiences. Emma and her friends decided to visit the treehouse on a dare one summer night. The wooden planks creaked under their weight as they climbed inside. Dusty toys and an old diary lay scattered, relics of a life long abandoned. The diary belonged to Ricky, and its final entry read, "He says he's taking me somewhere safe tonight." Lightning illuminated the dark forest, and Emma glimpsed a shadow below the treehouse. She froze, unable to speak as the shadow began to move closer. Her friends laughed, assuming she was trying to scare them. But then, the treehouse shook violently, and an unearthly voice bellowed, "Get out!" The group scrambled to escape, but Emma felt an icy grip on her wrist. When she looked down, she saw a pale, translucent hand holding her tight. Emma returned to the treehouse alone the next day, determined to uncover the truth. She found a trapdoor in the floor and opened it to reveal a hidden compartment. Inside, there was a photograph of Ricky with a man whose face had been scratched out. Emma brought the photo to the local historian, who revealed a dark truth. Ricky had been taken by his abusive father, who later died under mysterious circumstances. The spirit of the father was believed to haunt the treehouse, guarding his secrets. Emma never returned, but she still dreams of the cold grip and the shadowy figure. The treehouse remains untouched, a sinister monument to a family's tragic past. In rural Texas, a farmer named Henry built a treehouse for his grandchildren. It became their favorite place to play, but strange occurrences soon turned joy into terror. The children began talking about the man in the woods who watched them from afar. Henry dismissed their fears until he saw the figure himself. One evening, while checking on the kids, he noticed a shadowy figure standing near the tree. Henry shouted, but the figure melted into the darkness. Disturbed, Henry set up cameras around the treehouse, hoping to catch the trespasser. What the footage revealed was beyond explanation. A gaunt figure with unnaturally long limbs was seen climbing the treehouse at night. It moved in jerky, unnatural motions, disappearing before sunrise. Henry consulted the local sheriff, but no evidence of intruders was found. Things escalated when Henry's youngest grandson woke up with deep scratches on his arms. The scratches formed a pattern, almost like symbols. Desperate for answers, Henry invited a local pastor to bless the treehouse. During the blessing, the structure shook violently, and an unseen force pushed the pastor to the ground. The pastor later revealed that the land was cursed by a spirit seeking revenge. Henry decided to burn the treehouse, hoping to end the torment. As the flames consumed it, a blood-curdling scream echoed through the forest. The family moved away soon after, leaving the cursed land behind. In New Hampshire, a community treehouse stood as a beloved childhood landmark. But over time, strange events led to its ominous nickname, the Crying Treehouse. Residents reported hearing faint cries of children emanating from the structure at night. Ellie, a journalist investigating local legends, decided to spend a night in the treehouse. Armed with a recorder and flashlight, she climbed up as dusk settled over the town. At first, everything seemed calm, but as midnight approached, the cries began. The sounds were soft at first, like a distant echo of sobbing. But they grew louder, and Ellie felt a cold breeze sweep through the treehouse. She turned her flashlight toward the walls and saw tiny handprints appearing in the dust. Terrified, Ellie tried to climb down, but an unseen force held her in place. She blacked out and woke up the next morning at the base of the tree. Her recorder was missing, but she found her notebook filled with frantic scribbles. The words repeated over and over, "They're still here." Ellie uncovered records of a tragic fire that had killed several children decades ago. The treehouse had been built over their unmarked graves, their spirits unable to rest. After her story was published, the town demolished the treehouse and held a memorial. The cries stopped, but Ellie remained haunted by the experience. She often wondered if the children's spirits had finally found peace, or if they had simply moved on. These treehouses, meant to be places of joy, became gateways to the unknown. Whispers, shadows, and cries hold secrets of tragedies that refuse to fade with time. They remind us that some mysteries are better left undisturbed. If you find yourself near a lonely treehouse, ask yourself, is it truly abandoned, or is someone, or something, waiting for you to climb up?